Now.
Okay, well, welcome to our Esperanza is the Antidote live feed. We are broadcasting to you from Guadalajara, Jalisco, México, que propiamente debe ser terrenos huiráricas. This should really be huirárica lands. And what a blessing that I find myself at this particular time in quarantine with two huirárica students and dear friends of the family for many years. Yamina and Bernardo Ramírez are members of the Ramírez family. They were featured in the movie that you're going to be hearing more about here in just a short time, Huicholes, The Last Peyote Guardians. And Bernardo has prepared a little welcome for you, okay? I'm going to step aside here and let Bernardo, puedes mover un poquito, recorrer un poquito. Okay, Bernardo is going to give you all the welcome. Sí.
Yaku. You know te va Tzeliekama. Yaku Renetu. Yan remetanin Renes Reya. Nereta eniwahiku. Yan te kurata que caritie. Neyar arroani. Ita que carten ubiani. Bakawa i tatia tuiria. Partente kwaka, artente eriaka. Meta oravari. Hiku. Te variere. How ariat mentati ni tuba wayete. Nepo ni raro te pi ubian que. Para ariar te muan. Para más boca y cuetati tuirwan. Tu cariñahan.
¿Quieres decirlo en español?
Sí.
Darle pausas para que yo pueda traducir. Okay, that was Bernardo's native language, Huirárica, or otherwise known as Huichol. And now he's going to give you the welcome in Spanish, which I can translate for you.
Hola, buenas tardes a todos ustedes. Mi nombre es Bernardo Carrillo Ramírez.
My name is Bernardo Carrillo Ramírez.
Me da mucho gusto todos ustedes que están viendo.
It gives me a lot of pleasure, all of you that are here watching.
Les invito a que cuidemos a nuestra tierra madre.
I invite you to help us take care of the Mother Earth.
Para que en él podamos vivir, ya que nos da vida.
So that we can live, because she gives us life.
Ya sea alimento y cada día pues
She gives us food and every day.
Nuestra tierra merece ser cuidada por todos nosotros, tanto ustedes, tanto como nosotros.
Our Mother Earth deserves to be cared for by us as well as by you.
Ya que hoy en la actualidad, pues, en las empresas que están haciendo proyectos.
Nowadays, there are a lot of businesses that are doing projects.
Utilizan distintos bioquímicos que dañan nuestra tierra.
They use a lot of biochemicals that damage our earth.
Yo lo que pienso a través de mi tierra, pues, que no lo anden contaminando, porque eso nos da alimento y es muy importante para nosotros.
I send a message from our lands that we need to be taking care of our earth. It's very important for us because it gives us our food.
Ya que como nosotros, el pueblo huirárica, lo manejamos trabajando, cultivando nuestro maíz para seguir poder alimentándonos.
We the Huirárica people work this land all the time so that, perdón, ¿puedes repetir?
Ya que nosotros, con pueblo huirárica, trabajamos para dar nuestro alimento.
We, the Wirarika people, work the earth every day so that it will give us food.
Y para nosotros es muy importante porque gracias a la Madre Tierra, pues seguimos vivos.
For us, it's very important because thanks to the Mother Earth, we remain alive.
Y pues para finalizar, pues les invito a todos ustedes que pues más que nada ustedes tienen los como derecho de estar apoyando a Madre Tierra, pues para que no lo sigan contaminando.
So I would like to give you all an invitation and to just ask you to please be mindful, to take care of the earth, and let's stop contaminating.
Con su apoyo, pues también a nosotros, pues nomás decirles que pues nomás estar cuidando a nuestra tierra y ¿qué no?
With your support and with ours, we can all do it together. We can take care of the earth. Yeah. Okay. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Okay. So that was Bernardo Ramírez. He is a student at the preparatory school Estipac, and he is studying to be a nutritionist so he can go back to his community and help his people. He also is a very wonderful cook. So it's a pleasure having Bernardo and Yamina here. So now the next item on the agenda, we're running a little bit behind already. I would like to introduce Hernán Vilchez. Hernán is, Hernán, would you like to step up? Hernán is kind of my co-conspirator here with the Esperanza project. The Esperanza project has been around since 2010, but we were kind of following parallel paths, Hernán and I, because one of the things that we worked very hard on is supporting the Wirarika people in their fight to save their sacred site from the Canadian mining companies. And so I was writing about that for the Esperanza Project and a variety of other publications. And meanwhile, Hernán was working on a documentary, which has a very interesting story of his own. And not surprisingly, we've written about that in the Esperanza Project, and I will share that with you all. But then in 2014, our paths came together in a more definitive way. And but before I get into that, I realized that I would like to just, for anybody who doesn't know what the Esperanza Project is, I'm gonna share my screen here and just give you a very quick introduction to the Esperanza Project. Let's see, share screen. Okay, very quickly. The Esperanza Project is a magazine, green magazine for the Americas, and we cover a variety of issues ranging from, with a major focus on the environment and on Indigenous peoples. We also cover human rights, and we do so from the perspective of people who are looking for solutions to the problems, people who are supporting different kinds of movements, people who are frontline defenders in the fights to save their lands, and people who are looking for basically new and innovative ways. Generally, people from the Americas is what we are focusing on. So this continent, the world is full of inspirational, wonderful people, but we've decided just to focus on this side of it. That's plenty to keep us busy. So I'm gonna stop sharing the screen now, and I'm going to invite Hernán to step forward and share with us. Hernán, would you like to just share with us a few words about yourself, and then maybe we could talk a little bit about yourself and what it is that gives you hope?
Bueno, hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo están todos y todas? How are you? I'm Hernán Vilchez. I'm talking from Buenos Aires, Argentina, and it's a pleasure to share this talk with all you people. My dear Tracy, we are working together with Esperanza project since we were releasing our movie in Guadalajara in 2014, Huicholes, The Last Peyote Guardians. This boy Bernardo is in the movie because it's about the family of Bernardo, the Ramírez family. It's a Huichol family that is making the pilgrimage from their lands in La Sierra Madre Occidental to Vilchez. I have a little a dog crying here, so if you listen some crazy noises, he wants to talk also. I'm a filmmaker. I'm working with indigenous peoples for a long time already. I discovered this by chance, the indigenous world. I come from a country where there's indigenous peoples still alive, like in the States or in Mexico, but they are not so visible for our culture, the Western culture we have here. And by chance, I got the possibility of meeting these cultures like almost 30 years ago or something. And I started digging, and well, Huicholes came a long time after that. Before I was making many short movies. I was living in Europe for 10 years in Europe, and I could travel around the world, visiting indigenous peoples from all around the world, where I got to take part in many ceremonies and to understand different views and cosmovisions of these peoples that is so interesting, especially nowadays when we are living this kind of big crisis. And what is hope for me? Esperanza means hope in Spanish, and it's a beautiful word. And when Tracy and I got together was in this premiere in Guadalajara of this movie, Huicholes, and she was very clear that she was really interested in working together with me and sharing all this experience of the Huicholes, the Huirrárica people, fighting for the sacred land, Vilchez, where the peyote grows, the most sacred land where their deities are alive, where they go and they pray to renew the cycle of life. And she was really interested in supporting this story. She's making a great work with the Esperanza project. Before we got together in that moment, before we met, but after that we started with this synergy in our work. We became like friends and partners in telling to the world about what hope means for us. She's talking about so many indigenous peoples and ecologists and freedom fighters in the continent. And in our work, we were sharing this tour around North America, where we're visiting many cities in the States and in Canada, and we were getting together with also indigenous peoples there, with our Huichol protagonists. So it was very very enriching situation for us, because we realized that we had a lot of there was a lot to do to make these indigenous peoples exchange their knowledge between them and with us, that some of us are indigenous or a little bit, or we are all indigenous from somewhere. So for us, hope is every day, because we are living always, like a song here says, siempre es hoy, no? Or we are always today. So the future is today, it's now. And we are working for the future now. So this is for us what hope is and Esperanza, and I'm very happy to be here with you. Okay, Tracy?
Okay. Very good. Okay, so Trina, I'm going to ask you if you can to just give us a little musical interlude while I post on Facebook that we are now at Zoom, and I'm going to post a little picture of all of us so that people can come and join us here. Trina, would you mind?
I can play a song.
I thought you might be able to.
You know you can count on me for a song. I was thinking about Tammy's request, well, Tammy's comment that like you're leading so many ceremonies, so many group processes, and how it's so nice to have a song that helps us ground and helps us connect. And here's one that I've been feeling, especially during the sheltering in times, and it's really easy. And I'm going to sing a line, and I'm actually going to invite you all to sing it after me if you want. We can try. You can try to see what happens if we can all unmute. Maybe let's see what happens, and then if we have to remute, then go for it.
Okay.
The words are very, very simple, and it is: I am here. I am alive. I am home. All is well. Let me turn off my phone. Okay. I am here. Let's hear ya. I am here.
I am here.
Yay. That's right. I am alive.
I am alive.
I am home.
I am home.
All is well.
All is well. All is well.
I am here. I am alive.
I am alive.
I am home.
I am
All is well. Okay. It's so good to hear all your voices. I wish that we could hear each other's voices really joining well together. Now maybe we go ahead and remute, but then follow along. But just feel how connected we are, yeah?
Yeah.
I am here. I am alive. I am home. All is well. I am here. I am alive. I am home. All is well. And so, as I'm playing this and I'm thinking about maybe some of us who are here and listening right now, it may feel true. And for maybe some others, it might not feel as true. And I just want to send the prayer right now as I'm singing that I'm affirming that it can be true for all of us, and that I would like for it to be true for all of us. I am here. I am alive. I am home. All is well. Should we keep going with that? It doesn't feel as fun when I can't hear everybody's voices singing with me.
I think we've got some other folks that are lining up to talk. So, and
Good.
Trina, that was so wonderful and grounding, and I felt like I really needed that, because to be honest, this has been very challenging for me and for those who are close to me, and I apologize to everybody who had to deal with this, but Tammy and Hernán and Maria and Trina have been just wonderful in helping me work through this, and others too that I probably am forgetting to mention. But and especially my friends, the Ramírez family. So I guess right now I have a couple of, first I wanted to ask if there were any questions for Hernán. Did anyone, Hernán, are you still there? let's see if he, yeah. Were there any questions for Hernán? Because he shared a lot with us there. Did anybody have something that they'd want to?
I do.
Uh-huh.
I want to know, Hernán, what gives you hope? What gives you hope?
I'm sorry, can you ask me again?
Yes, what gives you hope?
What is my hope?
Yes, what gives you hope?
What gives me hope?
Yes, ¿cómo se dice en español? ¿Cómo?
Esperanza, ¿qué me da esperanza?
Sí.
What gives me hope? The new generations give me hope, for example. And I believe that all what we are doing and we want to do is for them, at least it's my vision. And when I see the kids raising the babies and little young people like Bernardo, that I've seen when he was a little boy, not so little, but he was younger, and I feel that now he has the power and the vision of his people, but also he's adapted to the new world that we are living. And these kids and girls and boys are realizing that we've done many stupid things as a humanity till now. So what we are living today is like, for me, it's like a clear picture of, okay, we have to change something, really. And even though it's not easy, and this is bringing a lot of anxiety to people to be at home, and the world crisis and the death count and all this, we are feeling that something new is coming, and this is what gives me hope in this moment. I want to be very clear about it. It's not an easy moment for anybody, but at the same time, inside of me, I feel that we are in the exact point of it's a turning point. It's a momento, un cambio de era, let's say, for the stars and also for the hearts. So this gives me hope, Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Very good.
Mm.
Very good.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Hernán.
Please.
I have gotten a message here from a couple of people. One is from Sarah Towle and one is from Cheryl Angel. Cheryl Angel is in the middle of a gifting ceremony, and her phone, she was with us here for a few minutes, but her phone was going dead. So she had to leave. She was in a gifting ceremony, and I think she is gone now. Wait a minute. Let me see if she is still there, because if she's still there, and if her phone is not dead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Cheryl. Can you say a few words right now?
Yes, I'm actually in the car. Today, something really special is happening all over the world. People are remembering that it took 50 years for us to get this far, to make the policy changes that we needed to protect the air, to have the Clean Water Act. All of these things that people have been working for are about to be reversed, are in reverse mode right now. So we can't be complacent in our love, in our visions, in our words and our acts. There's no room for complacency anymore. We've got to become spiritually active, and we've got to move our body and use our hands and use our minds to steer clear of the danger that's ahead. And like our prior speaker, I believe something good is coming, something extraordinary, because we know it's time. There is no time to be complacent. We've got to move forward. And I see people moving forward every day. I see people I've never seen before become active. I know it's real. The energy that we have, that we share with one another, this spiritual togetherness, oneness, this love that we have for our planet, and each other, and for the animals and the plants, It's all a frequency that we can join and that we can create and that we can strengthen, that we can extend, that we can push forward. It's real. It's it may look invisible. People may not feel it or recognize it, but it exists, and we're in control of that. So I want to give you the power to steer. I want to praise you for the work that you've done to come this far. I want to say thank you. Our mother needs us now more than ever, and we need to step out of those boundaries that have been created for us by a system that isn't working anymore, by a system that's bringing us all down. And if you want to know what my hope is, what brings me hope, it's you. It's people. I have been shown in my dreams that the answer to all of our problems is people. It's us. So with that knowledge that we're the ones that's not only causing the damage, but we're the ones who can make the changes, it gives me hope. It gives me hope because we can only go up. We can only move forward. There is no moving backwards. There's no time to go backwards anymore. We are moving forward with song, with ceremony. Today's new moon. People are all over the planet are having a new moon ceremony. This is a beautiful day. It's a wonderful day. It's great to be alive. There's no room for fear. Fear only holds us back. I'm speaking really quickly because I know at any minute now, my phone is going to die. So it's really urgent for me to share this.
Cheryl,
I'm
if I
going
could
to
just interject quickly, I'm putting some pictures of Cheryl so that you can see her.
Okay, I don't know if you can see me because, but, oh wait, to start my video just popped up. Oh, there's some.
Okay, we'll find you. We're gonna spotlight Angel now. Okay.
But I want to open a dialogue with Creator for you, for all of you, for each and every one of you, because I want him to hear your voices, and I want to hear your message, and I want to hear how hopeful you are. So please bear with me. If I could turn off my video, I would do it now so you could see my photos.
We see you.
I'm sitting in my car. The sun is going down behind me, and I'm gifting my horses. They're getting a new family. And I just found out I'm gifting them to one of my relatives. And
Uh-oh. Her phone's gonna go out.
Wow.
Oh,
Cheryl.
Oh no! This is just how it happens sometimes.
She said it, no? It's about to, wow! And it's amazing woman.
Oh gosh. Well, Cheryl, for those of you who don't know, was a very important figure in one of many in the fight to stop the Dakota Access Pipeline. She is definitely a teacher for many, many people, and we love her very much. So I'm glad she was able to be with us for a few moments, even though maybe not as long as we would have liked. But the next person who was scheduled to speak is Sarah Towle. She is a freelance writer based in London, and she was all geared up to be with us. And then her husband had a blackout. And besides that, they're in the middle of the night there, and she doesn't know what's happening with that. So we're sending good energy Sarah's way. But meantime, she wrote me some words that she would like me to share with you. And I'm also going to pull up her website because she did a fantastic piece. I met Sarah in Matamoros at the refugee camp for asylum seekers from Central America, or from other places as well, but mostly Central America. Now, Sarah was working on a piece where she was going to be traveling all along the border. She ended up doing a series called The First Solution, Tales of Humanity and Heroism from Trump's Manufactured Border Crisis. And I'm going to share my screen now so that you can see one of her pieces from her column. And then I'm going to read to you the message that she has for you all, because she unfortunately could not be here. And here's the first solution, medium on Storyteller. and I will share the link with you all so that you can read her whole incredible series. It reads like a novel, honestly. But here is her message to you all. Sarah says, and I haven't read this yet, so Dear Tracy and everyone, I'd really hoped to be with you to celebrate this Happy Earth Day 2020, but I'm afraid we had a little unexpected health mishap over here in London. And while I'm delighted to say all's well that ends well, I'm crashing from the early adrenaline rush, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning there. But before I do, I'd like to respond to the question of the Esperanza is the antidote. What gives me hope? The short answer is you. Similar to Cheryl, the vast global community of everyday people doing extraordinary things on behalf of the common good, not for personal financial gain or ego investment, but because it's the right thing to do. Like our grassroots heroes and humanitarians I met while traveling the Tex-Mex border this past January, I was there to research a book on Trump and company's inhumane and lawless immigration agenda to bear witness to the impending humanitarian disaster currently locked up inside ICE detention centers, stranded along the 2,000-mile US-Mexico border, and being deported to the Northern Triangle countries. And that was before COVID-19. But what I found there was so much more interesting. The 8 women, aunties, and grannies who daily channel their anger into lifting up the lives of others. The members of Team Brownsville who fed the residents of the Matamoros tent city twice a day since Trump and company criminalized Asylum in June 2018. The pro bono attorneys still working around the clock to reunite broken families and to aid asylum seekers with their right to seek safe haven in the US. The folks of Global Resource Management and the Resource Center of Matamoros, who are now tending to the needs of tent city residents in the face of government indifference despite a global pandemic. Felicia, who will be with us here in a little while, who, even as the pandemic rages, continues to teach the children of Matamoros tent city at the Sidewalk School for Asylum Seekers, maybe the only school still open in the Americas.
It's not a drop in the bucket for you, and it shouldn't be a drop in the bucket for members of Congress. So that's the first issue. You have all of these art centers around the country had to close.
Wait a second, Tracy, sorry.
Oh.
Sorry, Tracy, I had to just mute everybody.
Okay, am I muted too?
Nope, not anymore.
Okay, so Sarah says, it may be the only school left in the Americas because, and she says, Tracy and the Esperanza Project, because they give me hope. It's their lives and actions I hold up to the light in my current writing project. The first solution, Tales of Humanity and Heroism from Trump's Manufactured Border Crisis, because they give me hope. They are the members of the resistance who daily add both bricks and mortar to an infrastructure of inclusiveness and caring that models a better future for us all, particularly in the face of inexplicable inhumanity on the part of governments without empathy. On this Earth Day 2020 in London, there wasn't a cloud in the sky, nor the streak of jet, and the firmament was vast and uncommonly blue. Now, as I head to bed, I see through my window a sky full of stars. In the 6 years I've lived here, I've never seen stars above London before at all. As I look upon those stars, I offer a wish of hope for a kinder, more caring and connected future, where people of all countries, classes, colors, and equality, and in glorious cooperation with nature. I invite you to build upon that wish tonight, as you look upon the same stars I now see, connecting to each other and the universe and hope. So that was from Sarah Towle. I am going to share with you those comments and her link so that you can follow up with her later. You can also find her on Facebook at Sarah Towle, at Sarah with an AH at the end, and on Medium. So the next person, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, should be Amy Christian. Amy, are you there?
Mute. Hi, everybody.
Yay.
I was
Okay.
caught on another call that had trouble and just managed to get here.
Yeah, Well, I think everybody's kind of on the same page here, which is the problem. But at the same time, it offers a lot of hope, right? Because I think a lot of people are having Earth Day events and offering a lot of hope and inspiration. So, Amy, do you have your video queued up now?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, great. Well, so
Tracy, sorry to interrupt, but you just need to stop sharing.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, so
I'll share my screen. So, I mean, the video kind of tells it all, but what brings me hope is just that there's people all over who are continuing to resist and rise up and find creative ways to come together. And I was inspired by several different virtual banners that were created in the Bay Area. And so Extinction Rebellion Action Group here in Santa Fe decided we would try it here. And over the past 2 weeks, we did this virtual banner. So here's a little video of it. Let's see. Is it working?
it's on pause, I think.
It goes. Working.
So DL says to everyone, I would love to share that video. So
Great.
put the that website and any other websites that you'd like to in the chat. But first, if you could tell us a little bit about the making of that project, but also a little bit about yourself, because I didn't introduce Amy, but just to give a very quick introduction. I met Amy I already knew about Amy because I heard about the Wise Fools, which she founded. It's an amazing puppet circus artivist group in Santa Fe. And she came down to Tornillo, where the child detention camp was, over Christmas, not last year, but the year before, and brought these amazing puppets that they could hold up over the fence so that the children who were inside over Christmas could actually see that there were people outside who cared about them and brighten their lives a little bit. And that was one of the most inspiring things that I have ever seen in my life. I really rank that in the top few. So Amy, if you'd like to tell us just a little bit about yourself and what gives you hope.
Let's see. Well, it's really exciting to be on this call and see so many awesome people all over doing great work. I was actually just coming off of a call being put on by our local Youth United for Climate Crisis Action here in Santa Fe. And I'm particularly inspired by all the mutualista actions all over. There's a huge mutual aid project in Albuquerque, one in Santa Fe. They're feeding thousands of families. And there were also people on the call from the Navajo Nation, New Energy Economy. They're also working out on the reservation and on the pueblos to be bringing food and aid to people. And I think it's particularly hopeful that in this time of COVID and the pandemic and all the things that are scary, that that also people are finding all of these incredible ways to turn that, as Arundhati Roy would say, into a portal to find new ways of coming together in solidarity. And I see people connecting in across all different kinds of sort of barriers and chasms every day. These days, in the midst of this, it's really hopefully strengthening our network to be able to pull us away from being reliant on the corporate state and into more knowing how to connect, having more connections and a stronger connection to each other for solidarity.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Amy. And is there anything that you'd like to say about what Extinction Rebellion is doing there and the other groups that you're working with right now on climate change issues?
Yeah, so Yucca, our youth group that I was talking about, they were really leading. They built a really strong network, and adults in our area were really working as allies to really lift up youth leadership here. And when the pandemic started, the Yucca youth just completely transitioned all of their work from climate change into mutual aid, and have really been working to take care of the undocumented community here, which is huge, of course, and also the indigenous communities that we're surrounded by here and on whose land we are here in Santa Fe. And so they are really seeing the pathway to climate justice through just recovery towards just transition. And so I've been working a lot with them. I've been leading a mask making project that has been providing, I think we've probably made at least 700 masks by now to go out to all different communities and frontline workers and EMTs. And yeah, so really looking at, like I said, creating that net of solidarity as how we're working on climate justice right now. Extinction Rebellion, this was the most recent project that I just showed you, and we're going to be printing that out and sending it to our legislators as a beautiful letter. And we're also going to be projecting it on some buildings for some distanced actions in the coming month that we're still cooking up. And also, of course, we're still making puppets, but right now there's not as much opportunity to get them in the streets, although we do have stilt walkers who've been going out to some areas and having kids come out in the street to enjoy a little just joy in the midst of it all. Okay. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you so much. And yeah, I can imagine that Santa Fe is a much better place right now because of the work of those young people and the work of your collective that really kind of keeps people's spirits up. You know. So okay, well, who's next in the lineup then? I'm looking through the list and I'm wondering if would that be Tali Nauman, perhaps? Or no, maybe actually Laura is first. So, oh, but first, are there any questions for Amy? Does anybody have any questions or comments?
Yes, I do. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
In the video, there was a sentence, Amy. I am Ana from Mexico.
Hi, Ana.
It's good to see you so much.
Yeah.
Let's with this. So in the video, there's a sentence I did not understand. It was, okay, we are all together in this climate crisis, honor indigenous wisdom on earth, bail out people. Bail out. I do not understand what does that mean.
So in the US, there's all this happening where they've been doing these giant stimulus packages that are supposed to bail out, you know, businesses and stuff like that. And the money is predominantly going to large corporations, and huge amounts of money have been given to like the airline industry, which is of course an industry that doesn't need to be bailed out at all. And so there's a big movement in the US called the People's Bailout Movement. And it's really about looking at how our government could be bailing out people from the situation of people who don't have work and can't feed their families and don't have health care and can't, all of the things that are going on here. So really looking at bailing out people as opposed to corporations. Does that explain?
Not really, because bail a corporation is like subsidizing banks or corporations. Or I remember bail like to get out of prison or of jail. But that is not the acception of this word right now, this verb. To bail out means to reject the funding for what doesn't help us now.
To bail out, like if you were in a boat and it was sinking and filling with water and you were bailing it out, pouring the water out, so you're saving, you're helping in that way. And so Towle says it really well.
Now I get it. Thanks for the explanation.
That help? Oh, great.
Great.
Yeah, Kelly says rescue big business with subsidies. Yeah.
Yeah, so they've been rescuing the big business and the corporations, but they aren't rescuing actually people. So
okay,
I'm going to share the link to the XR Climate Action website in the chat. Also, I shared the video link there. So the website has more information. There were over 100 local people who made letters for that action. And I forgot to share that if you go online to 350.org, they have toolkits, little art toolkits that help you do something like that in your own community. And they have recently worked with people to do singing ones that are stunning. The Peace Poets just did one that's all hundreds of people singing in their homes all over and then spliced together in the beautiful. So yeah, check that out. If you want to do one locally, they're really fun to do.
okay, excellent. Thank you. That's a wonderful example, Amy. And now, actually, I didn't have the schedule in front of me, and so I don't know how I could have forgotten this, but we have with us Sawyer, the founder of Voices of Amerikua, which has just done a phenomenal job of bringing us films. And Ivan, are you there? Uh-oh, he's there, but he's not there. So let's see.
Hi.
Maybe there. He's.
Hi.
Hi. Are you okay? Ivan is here. All right.
Hi.
Ivan,
Hi, Tracy. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for the invitation. And so my name is Ivan, and I am from Mexico. And I'm very grateful to be here and to listen to all these guests that have joined the call. And well, I'm a media creator and photographer, and I have known Tracy for about 10 years when she was part of an event we organized called the Vision Council or Consejo de Visiones. And ever since then, we've been exchanging ideas and getting into a lot of trouble together, working with different collectives in Mexico. And also when she was living in Guadalajara, outside of Guadalajara, in a community called Teopantli Calpuli, and exchanging with a lot of our network here. Some of them are here on the call today. So Tracy and the Esperanza project has been a great inspiration for me throughout the years. And today's her birthday, and it's also Earth Day. So it's a day we have a lot to celebrate today and a lot to be grateful for. And anyway, so I have been working, well, one of the main projects I've been working with right now is called Voices of Amerikua, and it's a media platform sharing different stories and media and films regarding indigenous people of North, Central, and South America. Amerikua is an ancient name for the continent in Mayan language from Nicaragua, and it refers to how in ancient times we understood the continent to be one same piece of land divided by many different communities and cultures, languages, and today America has become the continent has become a melting pot of people coming from different parts of the world. And Amerikua kind of wants to share this diversity and the diversity of ways in which people share their culture, their art, their stories, and their struggles or their solutions to recover land, recover and take care of land, water, and people. So we have launched a media library and archive, and Tracy had said maybe I could share a little bit, just I know we don't have so much time, but I can share a little bit of what it looks like, and then just invite whoever wants to check it out. There's a lot of films there. We've been putting a lot of free films right now that there's this situation where people are, a lot of people are at home. So we've been getting new films on the site almost every other day. And Hernán's film with the Huicholes that he shared earlier, it was shared there last week and had over 15,000 people watch it in the same weekend. So that was amazing, because this film has a very important message around the protection of the land of the Huichol Wirarica people, their pilgrimage place that is in the desert in San Luis Potosí. And Tracy was a big part of that project along with Hernán. And we had the possibility to screen it and share it with many people around the world last weekend. So we feel really, really grateful to have been part of that, and for Hernán and Tracy also for being part of that. So is it okay if I share the screen for a minute? I guess, am I being heard? Okay,
Yes,
I'll do it
that's
anyway.
great, Yvonne. That's awesome.
Okay, let's see, screen share. Yeah, so you can definitely just look at it with time, but basically it's this, and we have a media library that has, it's a growing library with many short films, documentaries, music videos, and animation films. We're also working together with Wapikoni, which is a Canadian film production company working with many Canadian, Native American, and First Nation youth that create different short stories and films about their culture. We have trailers of upcoming films. There was a release today of a film called Wisdom Weavers, which I was part of also in the production. I will send the link in the chat so people can see the film. It's a 13-minute film sharing a message from many elders, indigenous elders from around the world. And so basically it's that. We're also sharing a lot of campaigns these past few weeks that are helping to support different efforts to bring support regarding the COVID-19 situation to many communities that are very affected by the blockades and food and medication arriving to the community. So we have several relief efforts that we are sharing through our website, so people that when they watch the film, they can connect and find ways to support in these times for some of these communities. And anyway, I don't want to take much more time. Check it out. It's called Voices of Amerikua, which is Voices of Amerikua. It's with AMERIKUA.net, and then you can see the library inside. And yeah, so that's more or less what I have to share. I guess the question, yeah, what my hope is for the future. More than hope, it's an affirmation, a feeling of knowing that we as humans, as communities, we have all that we need to be completely resilient and to overcome any challenges that come our way and that are coming in many ways. We have overcome so many diseases, so many wars, so many difficult times, and we as communities have an amazing power, and as human beings, to overcome and to evolve and adapt to all the changes. And I have no doubt that we are prepared for this time, and that we have all we need to come together as communities, as movements, to create sustainable livelihoods, to be sustainable with food, with medicine, to have to use technology in the right way and communication in the right way, so that we can empower our communities and our movements and our environments and our biodiversity. So that's basically my hope, the realization that I have, and that Esperanza project continues to inspire me to do and to take to manifest in this world. So thank you so much, Tracy. Let me know if there's anything else you would like me to add or talk about.
Stop sharing your screen now.
Yeah.
And I think we are running about a half hour behind. So I think we're going to need to move on and stop doing the Q&A. But Ivan is going to put his contact information here, and I'm sure would love to follow up with any of you, and definitely well worthwhile to spend some time on his website. It's a whole journey without ever having to leave your sofa. And so now I've got I think the only other fellow Guadalajara person here on this call with us is Hugo Sierra, who was organizing an Earth Day event here in Guadalajara before the pandemic, and he just has a few words to share with us. Hugo, are you there?
Yes, I hope you can hear me clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes, first of all, I want to thank you for your invitation, for having me here today. I'm very glad to be here with all of you. And I wanted to answer the question about the Esperanza as an antidote. My hope, guys, girls, is precisely on the people like you. When I first met Tracy, I immediately recognized the value on her job, on her spirit of fighting this fight in the name of nature. And I presume you all read the article she gave us today. And it is funny because being her birthday today, it is not only the Earth birthday, but it is also Tracy's birthday today. She, instead of receiving gifts, is giving us a very nice gift in this article. So I just wanted to say that my hope is people like you. Tracy, thank you so much for your help on doing all this for us.
Thanks so much to you, Hugo, for all that you do and for all the support that you've given us at the Esperanza Project. It's really an honor.
No problem.
So Laura Wacker is up next. And Laura, let's see, can you unmute yourself? Or let's see, I can unmute you. Okay.
Hello,
Laura
hello.
is one of the organizers of, speaking of Earth Day, was one of the organizers of Earth Day Colombia, a dear friend of many years, along with Mark Heim, who I saw earlier on this call. I'm not sure if he's still here with us, but from Peaceworks, an organization that has done so much to make Columbia, Missouri a more livable place and a leader in many ways. Laura, would you like to go ahead?
Hello. It's great to be on this call with so many great people. Happy birthday, Tracy. And, you know, I think while, you know, we've experienced a lot environmentally that it's been hard to be hopeful about, I think the pandemic actually has created some opportunity for us to be hopeful. And there are a lot of things going on right now that are putting the spotlight on some of the weaknesses that we've had going into this year, and the need for science and the need for cooperation and community, and especially the need for food security, and the great coming together of so many people to support small farmers and small business people, especially in our community. That's been very noticeable. And so we've had, you know, quite a lot of awakening going on, I think, in our community and really in the United States. I could say that easily. People have a lot more time to investigate things, and I think that's revealing a lot more information to people. And so we have people who are now understanding the science behind disease, the science behind the environment and climate change. And I think there are a lot more people having more time to read and investigate those things. And I think that's what gives me hope. And of course, Esperanza Project brings a lot of that to light.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Laura. Are there any links that you'd like to share? I know that you guys are getting ready to post a big, or maybe you've already started posting an Earth Day sort of cyber event.
Yeah, we just did a virtual art show today, and that was another thing that really gave me a lot of hope, is the number of young people that contributed art about climate change to the project. And so we put out a 14-minute movie video of the slideshow of the art. It's a virtual art show, and just gives the idea that people get when they think about climate change and what that expresses for them in art. And there were a lot of high school and middle school kids that turned in things. You know, and I've been working with university students this semester as well. And I really have noticed there's a big shift in the amount of knowledge that freshmen and sophomores in college have as far as climate and environmentalism goes. And it's been a long time, I think, since we've had that kind of a response from freshmen and sophomores in college, and how aware they are of environmental changes. And so I take hope in the fact that they're awake and going to make something happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been very inspired by the quality of discourse and the young people that I have seen down here in Mexico as well, and in the United States. And I think that is, I would have to say, that is one of the things that very definitely gives me hope.
I think our ranks are filling, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, the next up, and be sure and put your links there in the chat, okay, Laura?
Okay.
And now I'm going to invite Felicia Samponaro, who I'm trying to unmute her audio.
Here I am.
I met Felicia, actually, was it really only like 3 months ago, 4 months ago? It seems like a lot longer, but Felicia was running the Sidewalk School, founded the Sidewalk School for Children Asylum Seekers in Matamoros. And there are a lot of people who are lending a hand there, but very, very few of them actually move to Matamoros to be there on the front lines day after day, day and night, and that's Felicia. Felicia, can you share a little bit with us about what gives you hope, and then tell us about what you're doing?
Sure. So I do run a school inside of the encampment for the children asylum seekers forced to live outside in the woods in Matamoros, Mexico. What gives me hope is seeing them every day. I do not cross into Matamoros, into the encampment as often as I used to anymore because of the coronavirus. I recognize that I'm more of a danger to them than they are to me. I do still have my apartment though in Matamoros. So what gives me hope are the children. I hire only asylum seekers as teachers and as teachers' aides. I have 5 employees who live inside of the encampment. And because of them, I'm able to see the students all the time, every day. Also, we have gone virtual because of the coronavirus. And, oops, sorry, it's my dog. So since we are virtual now, I'm able to see the students that way as well. I do want to share some pictures that were taken today inside the encampment of the children. So give me 1 second. So right now inside of the encampment, oh no, it's not there. I believe, this one isn't it. I believe, so the numbers that I've read are like 700 children are there currently. I don't think it's that much anymore. Maybe, oh no, can y'all see it or no? Can you see any pictures?
Yeah, did you do the share screen button at the bottom? The green one?
I did, and then it went, oh no, nope, it will not go up. Sorry, so it is posted on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. But I believe the numbers of children right now is something maybe 200, 300. There are a lot of babies out there at the moment. But after the coronavirus hit, Mexican officials had multiple buses pull up to the encampment for maybe a week or two, asking the asylum seekers to self-deport, and a lot of them did self-deport. They were scared of dying. So I'm sorry, I have an 8-year-old son as well. Stop. So I am so sorry. Oh wait, it went up that way.
Yeah, I'm sharing it from my screen, but this is Felicia's Facebook page, and this is where she puts the most detailed posts of what's going on at the Matamoros.
So that's where the school used to be.
Yeah, right here on the sidewalk of the Immigration Center, right?
Yes, in front of the Mexican immigration or deportation building is actually where we held class every day, 5 days a week. And all of my teachers are asylum seekers. They all have degrees. Most of them are from Cuba, and the ones who are not from Cuba, there's only 2 from Honduras. They were teachers back in Honduras, so they are qualified to be teaching children. At the moment, we are going by the guidelines of the U.S. standard of what an American school is supposed to teach and supposed to be, because I am trying to get the school to a point to where when a child does leave, we can write some sort of letter stating that they have been in school for this past year and they have been receiving an American education for this past year. And currently it's going pretty well. I think we're going to make it there within the next month to where the school can say that. I take the school very seriously, so do the teachers, and it's hopeful and wonderful to see so many children wanting to go to school. We have quite a few children who come to school without their parents. I have a 5-year-old that brings his 3-year-old sister to school with him. So they want it, and so I will continue to give it. The teacher asylum seekers, most of them live down the street from the encampment, and they're not allowed into the encampment at all either because they are more of a danger to the asylum seekers inside the encampment then they are to us, and the teachers recognize it. So the teachers do stay at their apartment. School goes on 5 hours, 5 days a week, and we don't miss a day. I try to provide to the children what they want and what most of the parents want. It's a very stressful situation. I understand why the parents can't come every day, why some are not involved at all. I get it, it's stressful. But the children come by themselves, are with the parents, and they bring their siblings. We also offer lunches 5 days a week. We do not serve sugar. There is no sugar involved. There are no dentists or doctors out there in the encampment. And the few who are out there with GRM clinic, they are kind of overloaded with coronavirus. But before the coronavirus hit anyway, a lot of the children's teeth were literally rotting out of their mouth to where they can pull their teeth out because they were black, because there are no dentists out there. So the Sidewalk School does not serve any type of sugar whatsoever. We serve fresh fruit every day. We are all doing our best. Questions?
Wow. Well, Felicia, all I can say is that it's a huge comfort to me knowing that you are there, because you can't spend more than a day or two in that camp without falling in love with those kids. They are truly very special children. And so thank you. Thank you for all that you do. Tammy asks, how can we support you all? And I just posted the Sidewalk School's Facebook link right there. And you can go to that, and she's got her GoFundMe. Is there anything else?
We do have a website, sidewalkschool.org as another way to help us. Or if you cannot donate money, I accept donations of any kind, school supplies, notebooks, pens, pencils. Even though we are virtual, myself or the assistant director, Victor Cavazos, we do drive and park outside of the encampment, and we have 2 of our staff members walk downstairs to meet us, and we give them supplies that way. We also hand out worksheets from the teachers twice a week, and we do it that way. We try not to step into the encampment. All students are made to wear face masks, and it's hot out there, we get it, but 30 minutes to an hour won't hurt a kid. And so the staff members have to wear face masks, and the students during school hours have to wear face masks, at least for their class. We're trying, but it's hard inside of encampment for social distancing. If you've never been to the encampment inside of Matamoros, they literally live outside in dirt, in the woods, in tents, on top of each other, over 2,000 people. Social distancing is not possible inside of the encampment. Most people, when they see some of the pictures I post, get upset. They're like, why aren't you practicing social distancing? They can't do that in there. The only thing we can do is keep ourselves out of the encampment. And we do. And we do make them wear face masks. But in reality, they're together 24/7 outside, playing with each other, seeing each other. So in the pictures, you will see the face mask, but no, outside of school, no one's wearing a face mask inside the encampment. They're children. They play together. That's what they do.
Okay. Well,
one more thing. We have hired 5 seamstresses to make the children face masks, and all 5 of the women live inside of the encampment. We didn't hire any outsiders. You'll also see the pictures of our seamstress on my social media. I only hire asylum seekers straight across the board in everything I do. Everyone gets paid every week as well.
okay. Well, thank you so much, Felicia. And I really, really appreciate you making the time to be here. And we are very behind now. So I'm going to ask Noelle. Noelle, are you ready? Okay.
Yes.
Noelle was my very, very first interview for the Esperanza project, and I love her dearly. And Noelle, what I interviewed her about was the eco barrios, and for those who don't know, barrios means neighborhoods, and she has circled back to do something completely new and very cool with eco barrios. So Noelle, what gives you hope? Oh, what gives me hope is that now that everyone has to be home, they will have time, we will all have time to self-reflect, to review our habits, our needs, our behavior, and understand that this is the opportunity the earth is giving us to change completely to a new paradigm in which we are not hurting Mother Earth anymore, and that people will become more aware that I can contribute to help people see how their lettuce is sprouting, and that sometime it's going to be on their plate, and that they do not depend on Walmart to get a lettuce. And Mother Earth has many teachings, and abundance, the real meaning of abundance, is one of the teachings. So now that people are in their homes wondering, now what? I don't have a job, or my job is on standby, my business is closed. People begin to get desperate. And this is the right time for the transition. And this is what Ecobarrios is about. So I'll go very directly into Ecobarrios. Ecobarrio it's the idea of an eco-village. I know that you all know what an eco-village is. People settle away from the city and they try to live a sustainable life with total respect to Mother Earth. And Ecobarrio is bringing that model to the urban scenario, where people in their homes can also grow food, they can also harvest water, they can use the solar energy, they can have solar water heaters instead of using gas. So Ecobarrios was the concept came from Colombia in 2001 with the mayor, Antanas Mocos, who started this project, this community project. Nowadays, there are eco-barrios in many cities in the world. And it was between 2010 and 2012 that a whole group of us, and Alberto Ruz Buenfil, who's like the head of the tribe of environmentalists and activists here in Mexico, or one of the heads, he had a position in one of the areas that have their own government within the city that is called Coyoacán. It's called a neighborhood, Colonia, Delegación. And he was able to get funding to start eco-barrios in that area. So a whole group of us started with the project, and the project, I want to share the screen. Let's see if I'm able to. This is gonna be the first time. So how do I do it?
Noelle, you can look down at the bottom of your screen, and you should see something that says share screen, but let me.
But something comes out that I don't understand. I want to share this one, Ecobarrios. So should I click there?
How about this?
Says compartir, so I do that, right? Okay, there we go, yay. So Ecobarrios had different stages. I'm gonna be very quick. We first had an exhibition in different areas, churches, community centers, of the eco technologies people had no idea about. This is directed to profile people who have no idea. So each one of us were responsible for one area, and we explained what that eco technology was about, like an ecological toilet here, for example. And people would walk around and get very, very enlightened that there was this possibility, because these eco technologies can be homemade. They're very domestic, inexpensive. And the beauty of it is that at the end, people could sign up for a whole month of courses, of workshops on how to learn all these things they were seeing. So we worked for a whole month, 3 weekends, and the last weekend they were taken to Huehuecoyotl, which is an eco-village in Tepoztlán that Tracy knows very well. And they continued getting workshops and sweat lodges, which we call temazcales,
and they were given a certificate, a diploma as a environmental promoter in their neighborhood. And the expectation is for them to go to the neighborhood and say, hey, why don't we recycle? Or why don't we make a community garden or a compost? And we certificated, I'm talking about a big team of people when I say we certificated 500 environmental promoters. And of some of them I had news. For example, in one area, this is a community center for very poor people, and they have a greenhouse on the roof, and they have what is called a community diner that for only 10 pesos, very poor people can come and eat. And what they're eating is what they're growing on their greenhouse on the roof, which is a very beautiful story. So now I'm going to go very quickly, you know, because I know we're running out of time. So these are the different activities we had with people in different neighborhoods. You can see the fucoca. Maybe you know what the fucoca seeding is, but it's mud with a lot of different seeds, and you just throw the balls maybe in a forest and you can grow things. So you can see here's the solar energy. I think that's exhibition. Anyway, it was a huge, beautiful project, very successful. This community is in a region called Xochimilco. They are very poor. They're house builders, the men, and still they've managed to have a lot of eco-technologies in their space. They grow food, they have dry toilets, ecological toilets, they have solar energy, and I think wind energy. So they're beautiful people. Anyway, this is Fausto. He has a project called Verticalismo, which means verticalism, something like that. And he teaches people how they can grow food in any space and on any kind of container, specifically if it's a recycled container, and you can grow food there in small spaces in any kind of container. So this was a project. So this is deriving in the project today. How do I get back my screen?
Noelle, we're needing to wrap this up because
I'm going to wrap this up with the Ecobarrios, virtual Ecobarrios.
Yeah.
There isn't much more I can say.
Up at the top, Noelle?
Yeah?
Can you hear me? Up at the top of the screen, there's a little green bar. That's where you have to stop the screen sharing. And
okay.
I think that is very, very cool. And also
I just want to wrap up saying what the project within this situation we're living, give me just 30 seconds. The virtual Ecobarrio project is about making this we did in real with people, but doing virtually in a YouTube platform, perhaps, where many of us are going to be sharing domestic or professional videos and give hope to people that they can do this at home while they're in the quarantine, and perhaps they will discover what it means to grow your own food or to harvest your own water and have a different concept of abundance and just have hope. Thank you very much.
Very, very relevant and very timely. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the space. Thank you.
Okay, the next person that we have on the schedule is Ana Ruiz. Ana, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Okay, let me just say it's 8:30 now. I know that, well, everybody has a lot of wonderful things to say, but if we can just keep it very brief at this point. And I'm sorry about that.
Absolutely. I think that's my specialty.
So much to share.
So I'm going to skip the thanks and the congratulations. But what gives me hope is an ancient saying that it's better to light a candle than complain about darkness. And it gives me hope, the work that we all do. But I want to say what I hope for. And I hope that since transnational corporations are controlling, as well as some media, are controlling the narrative of what's going on, I hope that in order to work effectively, we can all acknowledge what we have done, to look, to see, to listen, to hear the work that each other has done, each other person, each other group. In other words, to work scaffolding, not invent the black thread. Like, we have to put all our accomplishments into a bracelet. If they are beads, we have to build a necklace or a bracelet. And if we are connecting each other, we have to build hammocks. I hope the metaphor really expressed what I want to say. And that's it, basically. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. And I'm just sharing the screen of one story. It's several that we have run about an event that Anna spearheaded in Mexico, along with, I forgot to mention this earlier, with Amy and our good friends Wells in Oaxaca to defend in defense of the corn. And so Anna is just an amazing fighter for the corn and for the Mother Earth. And Anna, if you can just put your links there in the sidebar, that will be great. And thank you so much. And next we have
Tracy. Sorry to interrupt, but I don't think we really. I would love to hear just a tiny bit from Anna about what it is that she does with corn.
Ah, yes. Okay, very good. Anna?
Thanks, Tammy. I am an independent advisor on organic farming and natural pest control. And I am a co-founder as one of the Vision Council. But I am working with 52 people in the class action lawsuit against Monsanto, DuPont, Pioneer, Syngenta, and Dow to stop transgenic corn in Mexico. And so far we were able to get from the court a banning of permits to plant transgenic corn in Mexico. And that is good, yet, and that is happening since September 12, 13. Yet the big challenge I see in this is that we make this class action something tri-national. We need the people from Canada and the United States in order to stop industrial agriculture in the North, because every time people in the North and here eats meat, it's really hurting small family farms. It's really damaging, undermining their future. And thanks for asking. I enjoy very much being here. Bye.
Thank you so much, Anna. I think the next person in the lineup then would be Towle, right? Towle, would you like to tell us a little bit about what gives you hope? Okay, I think Towle needs help unmuting.
Can you hear me? I unmuted myself.
Okay.
We hear you.
We hear you.
Well, buenas tardes. Mucho gusto. Nice to see you. It's great to be a part of this panel. It's admirable relatives and friends. All of you who are wiser and any of you who are older, please bear with me in this short intervention. I don't usually talk, I usually write and edit. Happy birthday, first of all, my soul sister, Tracy. And I am really hopeful seeing the 3 T's, those sisters of yours that I woke up with Tammy this morning and her very profound sharing of how to go about restructuring the way that we deal with Mother Earth. And that was a great podcast. And then I got to this, and there's another sister playing the guitar. I gotta meet the mom. But anyway, you're all my sisters, and they're good reason to have hope. All of you, very, very pleased to meet you. I'm a country girl, or what they call a rural woman. And so one of the things that gives me the most hope when I wake up in the morning every day is that sunshine. I look at the changing seasons. When I was growing up, I would talk to the flowers and plants and the rocks behind the house, and I thought, maybe nobody tells me I can communicate with them. It sure feels like I can. And so I think that having a relationship that's very deep with nature and prayer is what gives me hope. But also, I have done a lot of headhunting, and that is I've been paid, because that's what I wanted to do, is for my living to be made by finding people whose voices are like yours and helping amplify them, so that we do hear what each other are doing. I wrote a book about women with sustainable development projects, indigenous and otherwise, all in different states of Mexico. And there was a guy in prison at the time as a top political prisoner in the world. His name is Montiel, for defending the forest, and he wrote the introduction for it from prison in Mexico. And he said, I wish that everybody could read these things so that they could see, we could all see what each other are doing. So that's what Tracy's doing with this, and that's Tracy and I, well, it was kind of like her with Hernán there. We came across each other in Panama teaching environmental journalism courses, and then we went our separate ways, and pretty soon, not too long ago, our paths crossed again. And found out that we're both doing very, very similar things. Her Esperanza project amplifies and magnifies the voices of the indigenous, the women, and all the elders and the children. So that's what I do with my project, Journalism to Raise Environmental Awareness. And it's also bilingual, and it's really nice to see that being carried on. I guess just a couple more sentences. Hope infers an expectation of something better. So I think the Esperanza project reminds us that we do expect something better, and we all expect something a lot better, and I definitely work for it all the time. I have been. Like recently, I was covering the issue of the pipeline in the Lakota culture here on the Northern Great Plains. I'm talking to you from the Black Hills, the most sacred heart of everything for the Lakota Nation. And they had prophecy that the black snake would come and had to be fought off. And so there was no coverage of this. Well, I started it at my little independent Native American, I'm not the only non-Indian on the staff newspaper. And then it started being covered. There was opposition to this, that there was alternatives, that cleaner energy could be promoted, and this is a tool. So now, there's a group of women, for example, that I have been writing about, and Tracy picked it up with, just called the Braveheart Society. It's a traditional elders women's society in the Lakota culture, and doing really, really good things to stop the pipeline, even as they have to wear their masks in the pandemic era. So things like that will give you hope, and it's just the opposite of my previous online phone call, which was with Senator John Thune, very influential senator in the U.S. Congress, happens to be from my state of South Dakota. And his little, you know, it was a city hall, a town hall meeting on the phone, and his like talking about, oh, we got to get these port plants back up and running, and I'm gonna bail them out, and we're gonna get things back to where they were. Well, it just so happens that there's a lot of people that are smarter than that, and they can take the advantage of the pandemic. Like everybody that I'm looking at here, together with you and a lot of other people that I've been online with, they are pointing out ways that we can restructure. We could be sovereign sisters. We could restructure the economy. It's all based on what we've already had before in the past, in the present, and in the indigenous culture. So let's just do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Towle. Thank you so much. And Towle's work can be seen in many places, but we love it, especially when her work is in the Esperanza Project, but also Native Son News Today, where she's the environmental editor and covers Lakota country probably better than anybody, and certainly up there. And would you like to put your links there in the sidebar so that people can see Melon Coyote, which is also a wonderful bilingual project that she's doing, an educational project. So much of what Towle does you'll never see because it's education, but you'll see it in the work of her students, and she's been a great inspiration to many. So thank you, Towle, and if you can put those links in the sidebar, that would be great.
You got it.
Yeah, okay, so now Ana Barron from Colombia is calling us all the way from Colombia, South America. Ana, are you there?
Yes, I am. Hi, Tracy. Yeah. Hi, everyone.
Hi. If I can ask you to can you put on your video?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you see me?
Okay, I hear you.
Can you see me now?
Oh, wait a minute. I'm looking at the wrong Ana. Okay, so if you can tell us briefly, because we really are, we're running up until 9 o'clock. If you can just tell us very briefly about the Canto al Agua that you've been working with.
Yeah, Canto al Agua is a movement that started in Colombia. Now it's present in several countries, and the idea is to create consciousness around water. So, well, this year we were going to meet in different points of water around the world to sing to the water. And then there are some activities also that develop around that as well, you know, like cleaning areas close to rivers or lakes or sources of water. But of course, since we are now in quarantine, this did not really happen. So we're mostly meeting online. It's virtual. You can follow Canto al Agua. I will post the links. Today we also had a celebration for Earth Day, and yes, I hope that when after this period, that we're able to do again actual work outside. But of course, the meditations, the online meditations, and simply meeting online has been very uplifting for all of us, and also for the followers of the movement.
Okay, very good. Well, would you like to put your, oh, one other thing I wanted to say about Ana. I met Ana, of all places, in Munich, Germany, at a Temazcal. This was the most multicultural experience I think I've ever had, because here we are with a bunch of Germans, and Ana is translating for the Germans into Spanish from Colombia, and we were doing a tradition that is definitely, well, originally Lakota, but practiced in the Mexican Aztec way. So that was very, very multicultural. And Ana has written a wonderful piece for us about the Kogi people and the struggles that they've had in recovering from the terrible fires that they had there. And one of these days soon, we hope she's going to write to us about Canto del Agua.
I'm gonna write soon, and yeah, I'm also getting some information for you about the current situation with the fires. There were fires again this year, Apparently they subsided a bit, but I need to get more details about this. Of course, the summer is always, summers and winters are getting a bit more extreme everywhere in the world. So this is the reason why sometimes these things happen. But rainy season is starting soon in Colombia. So hopefully that will help as well. And yeah, I will write again. Thank you, Tracy, and happy birthday to you. You
Thank
beautiful
you very
soul.
much. And thank you so much for being here.
I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you everyone for being so inspiring. Yeah, this really gives us inspiration to do further work.
Likewise, likewise. And next, I would like to introduce my very dear sister, Tammy. But first, since Towle mentioned that there were 3 sisters here, I think it's only fair that we mention that there's also an uncle here. I was very surprised to see our wonderful Uncle Kevin Hicks, who is has been just an amazing role model to me. Kevin is probably the primary reason why I'm a journalist, and I have to thank him so much always for suggesting that to me. So thank you so much for being here, Kevin.
Great to be here. It's a wonderful program tonight.
Oh, thank you. It was quite a surprise and quite a happy one to see you there. So Tammy, as Towle mentioned before, Tammy did the launch of her podcast, her long-awaited Earth Sky Woman podcast today, and it is such a powerful thing. I, for one, am going to really look forward to seeing and listening to it probably more than once, as I do with Tammy's classes. I typically go back to them over and over again because there's so much depth there and so much just a profound understanding of the world that allows us to take the very hard parts and dark parts with still keeping our eyes open to what is possible. So Tammy, if you can, thank you very much for being here, and if you can tell us about your podcast, that would be great.
Yeah, am I being spotlighted right now? I can't really tell from my end.
I can't tell because all I see is me, but what happens when you talk?
Okay, I'm just gonna, let's see. Am I the main? It's funny to be coordinating this too. It's been really fun. Thank you, Towle.
Yeah, Towle, is Tammy when Tammy talks, can you see her?
Yes. She says yes. So, oh my gosh, what an amazing gathering. I'm just so inspired. Tracy, this is incredible. So what gives me hope? I've been thinking about that through all this whole conversation. And what I want to say is that what gives me hope is to remember that, we know that human beings are only using a small fraction of our potential. And my sense is that part of the reason we don't use our full potential is because we live in a culture of profound separation from each other. There's a tremendous amount of isolation just in the way our communities are built. And so we don't have that intelligence that arises when we're in healthy connection with community. We don't have we also, in the course of our more current evolution, we have been completely disconnected from what all of our original ancestors had, which is a sense of profound intimacy and connection with the more than human worlds. And that means the worlds we can see and those we can't see, and that there's profound, brilliant intelligence that we have lost contact with. And so my sense is that, I've been saying it like there's this eco-sapien that's awakening now within a critical mass of human consciousness. I'm not the first one to coin that phrase. But so my sense is that, I recognize that for many individuals who have been in some sense a little bit less privileged than many of us are, to have not met all of these incredible people and to have not maybe been able to be a part of many of these kinds of movements, but for whom it's difficult, to know that so much is changing. A lot of people are doing deep grief, having deep grief because they're having to experience the falling apart of so much of what they has in some ways perhaps seemed to be working for us. But what I feel is that so many people are waking up so rapidly to the possibility of something far better than what we've been experiencing. And that gives me great, great hope. And everybody in this context and in this community as well. So my name is Tammy Brunk, and I have a podcast and a program. It's the Earth Sky Woman program, and I just did a mini summit that was really fun, incredible. I gathered women and men that I just think are deeply inspiring and who have really good tools to help us to navigate this time of such profound change. And I also am an astrologer, and so the podcast features the Earth Sky Woman Astrology Podcast. Is two things. It features regular updates on astrology, and it also is going to feature, based on the themes of what's happening in the starry realms, it's going to focus on speakers and individuals, much like the people in the circle, to highlight and make more visible the many ways that we can actually create a new culture, a new human culture that restores the connectedness between ourselves, that helps and supports those who are most marginalized, and that helps us also to align our economy with earth cycles. And so I'm really excited about it, and I'm really excited to be here and really honored. So thank you so much, Tracy.
Thank you so much too, Tammy. I just shared. I just have to share so that I just shared the story that we wrote together for the Esperanza project, and I would like to especially thank you. If I can get this thing off my screen, here we go. I would like to especially thank you for helping me to organize this meeting and for actually suggesting it in the first place. Is everybody there?
Awesome.
Hi, it looks like people went away. What did I do? Hello? Hi.
Here, it's okay. It's just the way you're navigating your screen, but not everybody's seeing that. It's okay. Is it time for Maria now?
It's time for Maria, and Maria is another very wonderful Mexican inspiration, diva, goddess, woman that I was very fortunate to take a few days of her permaculture class in Belize, and now she's living in California. And as a permaculturist, she is very familiar with the cycles of nature and how to work with them. But what's really especially interesting about Maria is she's a therapist. And so she has combined those two fields in a beautiful way. And she talked to me about this back in 2010 when I met her on my journey through Latin America about the book that she was working on about inner ecology. And now that has become the core of her work. So Maria is going to share with us her vision of hope through inner ecology. So thank you so much, Maria. And Maria is going to help us close out. So thanks to all of you diehards who stuck around to the very end. You're going to have quite a treat here with Maria.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, all of you. Yeah, my name is Maria. I met the Brunk Barnett family a long time ago. Noelle, a lot of people we're sisters with from a long time ago. And yeah, I like to make the story short. I certified myself, yes, as a designer and as a self-sustainability worker and lover. And I lived in the jungle for 13 years, making living a learning center that is called the Aldea Gratitud. And I was working there with 37 indigenous communities. And I was also working along with Albert Bates for many years, and with a lot of other marvelous people. And what I noticed was that, being in the COPs, in many COPs, and being like delegates for UN, I noticed that any change that we do can be really sustainable if it doesn't start within ourselves, if it doesn't start within our hearts, because we can maybe give a lot of green education, and we can maybe like offer a lot of information, but whenever we're human beings, right, and we're so complex, and whenever we have a problem, an emotional issue in our lives, then we forget about taking care of the earth. We forget about our composting, and we forget about everything because we need to just, you know, like feel centered. We need to ground. And so I thought that, like, permaculturally speaking, or sustainably wise, we talk about the zones, and we were like always talking about the zone 1, that is our home, from zone 5. And I said, like, no, there should be like 6 zones. There should be like zone 0, and zone 0, it's ourselves. You know, it starts within ourselves. It starts within our hearts and within our minds, and with all these inner processes that we're living with and passing through. So in 2005, I think, at the end of 2004, I started writing about inner ecology, and to propose in every PDC that we were teaching, that we need to talk about zone 0. And so yeah, finally, after many years, I mean, I've been teaching inner ecology in Estonia, mostly in Europe, but what gives me hope from this, inner ecology is a methodology that I created, as Tracy mentioned, that gathers sustainability and self-development. So inner ecology is a methodology for emotional sustainability. So it's for us to be able to understand ourselves, to understand our cycles, and in terms of sustainability, right? But like thinking about, I take like all the concepts from sustainability, and I put them into human development. So as well as there are many cycles outside, we also have cycles inside. There are resources there, we have resources here. And so I work with that. And so from the point of view of inner ecology, what gives me hope is the border effect. The border effect, which we know in permaculture and in sustainability, that is this place where 2 different seasons or 2 different ecosystems get together, right? And the border effect is exactly this line that maybe is like very, very thin, but that is like the gathering of 2 different cycles. Yeah, and in sustainability and in permaculture, we talk about the border effect, which is this place that is rich, that is totally full of resources. It's totally full of, you know, the resources from one cycle and the resources that on the other cycle, and they're all together there. And it looks like kind of messy because it doesn't have any form, because it's a combination of everything. But in fact, the border effect is very rich. And right now, I think that we are living in this border effect. I think that right now we are in this beautiful, blessed transition. And we are in the border effect. We were coming from what we thought was our life, and that is like never going to be the same. And we are going to, we don't know what, right? We have some ideas and we wish it can be sustainable, and we wish for it to be a new humanity and this and that, but we don't know what it is. But for sure, it's a new cycle. So we are in that, you know, we are in this border effect, and that gives me more than hope, because I think the word hope for me is kind of like ecstatic. It gives me faith, you know, it gives me power, it empowers me, it makes me believe, and it makes me do, you know, and it makes me like focus in what I have to do. So So right now, to know that we have all the resources, like, yes, all messy, but we have everything in our plates. We have everything on our desks. We just need to organize and see, you know, and go inside and outside and just like give it a little bit of order. But I know that we have everything to just go on. And but if we have faith, or if we believe or hope, you name it, I don't care about the concept, but if we really believe in ourselves, if we believe that we have the power to do whatever it's needed. Yeah, we don't know our full potential, as Tammy said, and I really agree with that. We don't know our full potential. But what if we focus in what we can create, you know? So that really makes me excitement. And there's something else that nobody, because I had my list and everybody mentioned everything, you know, like I'm the last one, so thank you everybody. They already said everything that I wrote. But there's something that nobody said, and this is, I think this is a time to be the guardians of the light. This is our time to really shine with no measure, you know? This is our time, because this is a time to be here and now. Because as we are in this border effect, we're no longer in the past, and the future, we don't know. So the here and now gives us this possibility, you know, to engage within ourselves. And the other thing that has been happening these days that I really enjoy to see and gives me a lot of excitement and touches my heart, I don't know if that is hope, is to see all the animals that are everywhere. All the animals are so happy without us. They're just like jumping everywhere. They're just enjoying their planet, you know, they're just like having so much fun, like where the fuck are these humans crazy, you know, guys? And just to see the videos of these animals, you know, they give me like, you know what, like, I'm not that important, you know, like to see life manifesting itself in such a magnificent way gives me like the perspective, you know, like, I don't care to be inside of my home, you know, like 4 months of the year or 5 months of the, I don't care if they can be happy, you know, if they can reproduce, if they can just enjoy and we can just see them, you know, that really like, I can really go for being inside my house more often. So, well, that said, I think that it's time for us to close, right? Right now, I'm in front of the marina. I live in Marina del Rey, and I'm in front of the sea. And every morning, I see the seals and I see the dolphins. And they are always by themselves. And lately, they are just like swimming in families, you know? They're like connecting to it. They're not afraid. So I send you all, you know, that sense of freedom. That sense of freedom, because the sense of freedom is not going out of our homes, it's not going to the shops or buying whatever we want, or, you know, I think that freedom is really inside of us. Freedom is what makes us also unique and maintain our hopes and maintain our beliefs and maintain our power. So I would ask you all, if you allow your heart to connect with more, a little bit more, to close your eyes a bit and make a deep, deep, deep breath. Just an inhale and exhale through your mouth, and just like allow yourself to be here and now. And by doing that, let's just hold hands. Let's hold hands and let's feel the energy that we all have. Let's feel this invisible thread that is joining us, because we are right now this new community that is getting together to share these experiences. And yes, we are this circle inside the circle, and we always sing that, right? So just feel this energy of these 12 people that we are here together. Let's hold hands, let's hold hearts, and let's just take a deep breath. And I invite you to consider that even though we don't think about the thread, that even though we can feel overwhelmed and worried and angry and not knowing what to do, or we're feeling like so expanded and so shiny and perfect. Doesn't matter how we feel. We are one, and we are never alone. And we are not only one among ourselves as human beings. We are one with every single animal that is breathing in this planet. And we are one with every single beautiful plant that is breathing and existing in this planet. And we are one with everything that exists. So we are not inside. We are not in jail. If we really get in touch with the oneness, we are everywhere. So I ask you to consider and to feel that every day, every breath you take, you are not only breathing there indoors, you're also breathing in every tree, in every rabbit, in every dolphin, in every cloud, in every perfect day without our crazy CO2 emissions. We are breathing with Mother Earth, with Schumann resonance going crazy and changing our magnetic field. We are breathing with the life of this planet. We are one with our home. So we will never die either. We are all totally connected, and knowledge is within us, and we know what to do. So I invite you to take hope to the next level. Action. Let's do it. Let's take action. Let's believe it. And let's just do it every day in everything you do. Cooking, cleaning, working out, planning, whatever you do, let's just do it. Let's just represent in everything we do the perfection that we are one with and the huge energy that we are made of. Will never be only indoors. Please just think about it and feel it, because nothing can stop us, because nothing can stop Mother Earth. Never. We can get hurt and Mother Earth gets hurt, but nothing can stop her. Nothing can stop us. We are also one with the Great Spirit. We are totally inseparable with the Great Spirit, and nothing can stop it either. So just let's take a deep breath in that belief and that trust and that faith and that power. And exhale with a sound that you want. Aha! We are one. We are one, brothers. We are brand sisters. We are one with everything. And we never give up. We never give up. Because Earth is alive always, and the Great Spirit never, never gives up. And so won't we. Thank you very much. I love you deeply. Thank you very, very much for being one with us, with me, and with all. And I am sure that we can create. And I ask you to be sure of what you can do. Every little step you take, we will doing it and taking it with you too. Aho. Thank you.
Wow. Wow, Maria, thank you so much. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here. I could not have asked for a better Earth Day or a better birthday. This is the best present ever. I did not do a very good job at what the purpose was of organizing this whole thing, which was to launch my Patreon campaign, because that's something that I probably need a little bit of practice on, but I did learn how to set up my own Zoom meeting, which was good. And we had our very first live feed, even though it wasn't on Facebook, it was on Zoom, and we have recorded this, which we can now share with all of our readers. And I'd like to ask the help of each and every one of you to help us get the word out, because what we are doing here is we're creating a community of people like the ones that you have just heard from, and we are stronger together, right? I mean, the quality of people that we have been able to draw into our midst is really just phenomenal. And if anything in the world could create hope, I think that's it. So I would just like to ask each of you, I have not put my Patreon site here, so if you will just bear with me. Really, the thing that I would like for you to do is just, if you're not on the Esperanza Project mailing list, share with me your email or sign up for the Esperanza Project list, and we will be notifying you about that. We already sort of have. So help us get the word out about that, and help us support this community that is lifting up the voices that our society needs to hear, and giving us those kinds of headlines that we want to read instead of we want to steer away from. Okay, so thank you once again for being here. Thank you all. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Let's call it a night. Happy birthday, Tracy!
We love you, Tracy!
We love you too.
We love you so much. You're the best. Super Tracy.
Happy birthday! Thank you for existing. Thank you for existing. We are
Son las mañanitas. Acompáñame, Ana María.
Las mañanitas que cantan
el rey David. A
las muchachas bonitas
se las cantamos así. Despierta, Tracy, despierta. Mira que los pájaros cantan, la luna ya se metió. Happy birthday!
Happy Earth Day!